We've got a dog in the video. Instant clicks. Hey everybody, welcome to our big damn commentary for the Doctor Who episode Blink. We've never seen this. We don't even know what Doctor Who is. Neither does my dog.
Minnie, what's Doctor Who? What's Doctor Who? No?
I agree,
Min.
Min.
Are you going to stop biting my hand now? You going to stop biting my hand? Thanks.
She's actually just
put
left
off
now. She's jogged on.
She'll be back.
We are Matt and Chris, and you're watching. If you want to watch along, it's the best way to do it. If you want to put us on your phone or in the corner of your screen, if you're streaming the episode
It's
on your desktop.
In-picture commentary.
That's how this works. It's basically like you're hanging out with us, except you don't have to smell us. But the downside of not being in the room with us is you don't get to enjoy some gelée babies, which I have provided.
Wow.
One of which is filled with arsenic. We'll discover which by the end of the episode.
It's jelly baboy roulette.
So without further ado, line up your copy of Blink, however you're watching it, and hit play in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We are into Blink. Now, why Blink for our first Doctor Who commentary? Well, I feel like if we opened it up to a poll, people would just tell us to do this one anyway.
Yeah.
Plus, it's an excuse for me to finally open from the wrapper my Series 3 Steelbook with the correct master artwork. Do you remember that kerfuffle?
What's Kerry Mulligan been up to recently?
Probably not much, I imagine. Career died a death after this, apparently. Being sarcastic, she's a very successful actor.
She is, but I haven't seen her anything recently.
True. Then again, you do watch things with your eyes closed.
That's true.
True.
Let's have a look.
What a great setup as well. Like, if you had no idea that this was an episode without the Doctor and Martha, you'd see this and be like, oh, right, so here's our lead in, something's going to happen to this girl, and then the story's going to start up, and we're going to the title sequence. It's like, nope. This episode is subtly subverting your expectation. Here is our protagonist. It feels like a TARDIS-ode as well, this.
Yeah.
Like it's a separate little thing.
Beware.
Beware.
Love it. It's so cool.
Nice wallpaper. Well, that's my insights.
Yeah.
See you next week, guys.
The Weeping. It's just such a great name for something.
A weeping angle.
Oh, really?
Where are the weeping angels? Owen Duck. No, really. Sally Sparrow. Did you ever read the original short story? Was it what I did in my summer holidays?
No,
by
I
Sally
didn't.
Sparrow.
I didn't.
So it was in the Doctor Who Annual 2006, which was the first annual for the show's comeback. Also, is this the only time the Weeping Angels try to take somebody out by throwing something at them?
Knock them out. Creep up on her. Snatch all her years and lives.
True, I guess. It's a bit dirty, really, isn't it? It's a dirty trick for these Weeping Angels. But yeah, the original short story was... so it's in the annual that featured, obviously, the Ninth Doctor and Rose, primarily, on the cover and everything. And in it, it's a young girl who keeps watching videotapes of like her family's parties, like her mum and dad's birthdays and her christening, things like that. And there's this guy in it who basically keeps trying to tell her that he's lost, his time machine's like left him behind, and you need to go to it and do whatever, and he'll eventually be able to find his way back. So it'll go back to him.
That's quite good.
So it's got these beautiful illustrations. It's like, you know, Chris Eccleston like on a TV set, and she's sat in front of it, like watching this VHS, and there's just him on the screen. It's like, what a great idea! And the short story was written by Stephen Moffat. So I wonder what the conversation there was. I wonder whether it was, look, Russell, I think I've got an episode of this. Can I write it? Or whether it was, Stephen, that was a fun idea. Turn it into an episode. Love this. I wonder if this Blu-ray's got the Easter egg on it still.
Maybe.
Remember, an Easter egg on the Series 3 DVD is the complete recording of this is tucked away as an Easter egg somewhere. And somewhere else on it, yeah, Easter egg Blink.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it's on this disc. And does it have the other Easter egg?
What other Easter
egg? I don't think it does. Oh, that's a shame. There used to be an Easter egg as well on the other one, where you saw all of David Tennant's improvised spiel to Martha when he's saying the instructions for Family of Blood. Where he's like, rule 1, rule 2, rule 3.
That's cool.
And he just starts going on about going to like a Pet Shop Boys concert, and he just starts talking basically as David in the Doctor's voice, and then it's like, rule 42, and then he picks back up with the actual one you hear in the episode, because they just needed background noise.
Yeah.
Is it on here? It must be. No, it's not. Oh, that's a shame. Oh well. Well, I'm glad I've got the DVD still, so I can access nonsense like that. No. Naked guy!
Gotta love Larry.
Naked Doctor Who.
It does.
To Sally's credit, she never broke eye contact.
No.
Sorry, it does what?
It does look like a cheaper show than it does now, doesn't it? But I kind of like it. It looks more... It's more approachable.
Yeah. I think also it just takes you back, doesn't it, to watching it go out.
Yeah.
And that comfort of, oh my god, the show's been back. We're 3 series in. This is really fun. Yeah. So it evokes that kind of vibe again, doesn't it, really?
Mm.
Like, as much as I love the look of the show from the last few years, as of our recording this, which is 2019, I've definitely been detached from the show.
It's weird seeing big budgets
for the last couple Capaldi series and for Jodie's series. I've had quite a detachment from the show, and it looks lovely. And there are always episodes that really win me over, but there's a comfy feeling about this. Friend of the show, Guy Lambert, once described older Doctor Who, specifically sort of the 60s and 70s one, but all of it really from the original run, as feeling like a bank holiday morning.
Yeah.
Or a Sunday, we don't have anywhere to be. Like, you put it on, it's just this warm feeling you get from watching it. This older looking telly and the pacing and the delivery style and everything. So yeah, it is odd to go back, isn't it, really? In a way.
It's nice though.
Even,
it feels good.
Even 12 years, it still feels like a different era. Daniel Craig? He's got the profile of Daniel Craig!
This is the lovely, lovely Richard Cant, who is...
Daniel Craig's profile artist.
He's the son of Brian Cant, voice of many kid shows from the 60s and stuff. And he came in and did some directing when I was at drama school. Lovely bloke.
Did you all go, oh my god, it's Daniel Craig? And then you turned face forward and you went, oh no, it's not.
Yeah, you did exactly that.
He does have an element of Daniel Craig about his profile.
Very fine actor.
Very fine man. Terrible woman. This is such a great idea as well.
This story's full of great ideas.
I mean, this idea is technically from the end of Back to the Future Part 2. But where that acts as a cliffhanger, this is what kicks off our story. So there's a bit more of a whimsical element to this. You Marty McFly, I've got something for you. This letter. We used that on CBBC once. We didn't have a direct ending for that afternoon, so I suggested, it was about what was behind the revolving door in the set. People were writing in to try and say what it was. And I suggested, I can't believe they went with it.
No, creepy angle.
That I got behind the door to find out. And Hacker's like, no, where's he gone? And then someone else comes in to shop. It's like, you Hackatoo dog. It's like, yes, I've got something for you. There's a letter. And the letter is me talking about I've travelled through time. And he's like, he's alive! He's alive! He's stuck in the Old West, but he's alive! And then the letter goes on to say what's on tomorrow. I wish I had a copy of it. Actually, no, I don't, because if I'd uploaded it, everyone would complain that it wasn't a Weeping Angels reference instead of a Back to the Future reference. That is a great reveal. That is so good.
Perfectly timed as well.
And he's a grandson, right?
Yes.
So he would recognise her. Like if this had all been slightly differently timed, he'd recognise her and be like, you look like my grandmother.
Love it.
Question: does Moffat love or hate Hull?
I think
Because this next scene sort of sets it up like he's slightly annoyed by Hull.
gotta take it.
You ever been to Hull? I find it really irritating. You're in Hull. The Yorkshire-based sequel to You're in Town. Doesn't make sense, that. Also, the papers are only 2 sheets thick. Welcome to Hull.
The Hull Times.
Between heaven and Hull. Oh. Oh. Oh my god, this is so
there she
good.
is.
Also,
That's goody period attire.
suits her. But also, just saying, it is hard to mock up genuinely aged photos easily, especially on as small a budget as Doctor Who has and had and everything. Those look convincing as hell. Really well painted. Love this. Aye. I only just buggered off. Bloody hell.
60 years!
No. What year is this? 2013.
No. No.
Look at that.
2007. This is 12 years old. Fuck.
That is such a natural reaction to it as well. Like, this is a sick prank.
Yeah.
Like, is Kathy behind this? What's going on? This is horrible.
Oh, I love it.
The way they're lit. Let's talk about the Weeping Angels for a moment, because no one has ever talked about them in a blog or a video before. What an amazing concept. And a reason why this is a modern classic is just because, like, it's conceivably haunting.
Yeah.
And perfectly done.
And if anything, it's probably slightly overlit. Although I think that's a reflection of the way it's filmed, because it wasn't filmed on videotape.
True. I mean, we get them underlit later.
But yeah, but
that is so subtle.
Yeah.
That one in the back corridor is so subtle when she crosses through shot. I met one of the Weeping Angels. I can't remember her name now. It'll come to me and I'll feel really bad afterwards. But between doing dance and acting, she also worked as like production runner and production coordinator. I met her on a morning show. I think it was Wild for CBBC.
Oh,
It was bloody lovely. Someone was asking me about Doctor Who because I think I had a Doctor Who t-shirt on for our filming. I was doing red button stuff. And they were like, oh, you should tell him you worked at Doctor Who. And I was like, oh, really? What did you do? She went, I was one of the Weeping Angels. I was like, sorry, what? I was like, what? How does it feel to know that you have made generations of children shit themselves?
they are terrifying.
Because they are, the way they're executed, they are a mix of a couple of performers and a couple of static props.
Yeah.
And they're just freaky.
The performers wear a lot of solid pieces, don't they?
Like the face, especially the face from later, this little freaky thing. They're sculpted, they're like masks that you click on. They're horrible. But again, such a simple design. Humanoid. Sometimes the scary stuff's the stuff that looks human in shape. You think of angels, you think, oh, nice things.
No.
He scrubs up well. He creepily followed me across a field when we first met. It were really weird. He negged me. He negged me before it was even a thing. Come on, Minnie. Come on, Papa. Don't be scared of the angels. Don't fear the angels.
Love it. Love it.
Told you you're 18. Brilliant. Oh. I do love the idea that the angels are
Acid burn.
are very cautious beings naturally.
Yeah.
That's something I think they forget later on.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're very cautious. Like, they are their entire thing is a defence mechanism. So in this, they really keep it. They take a step back. Ian Boldsworth. Ian Boldsworth. Parapod fans, rejoice. There he is.
I was like, just like, I'm watching this very generic gunfight. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me now. It's like,
Yeah,
Rubber ducky!
You're the one. You make that thing work so fun. Oh, I'm doing
Rubber
Kodash
ducky.
for doing Ernie.
Rubber ducky.
That's spooky as well, the way that plays at that moment.
Yeah.
Just the cueing of it. You just hold for a moment, you're like, oh, Martha! Oh, shit!
He's wearing pants this time.
So he looks like, I've just realised. You know, Limmy's show.
Okay.
What's it? Oh, what's his name in the flat? The one who's always high. Can't remember now.
He does look like someone who's always high, to be fair.
Dee, that's it. He's just always stoned in his flat. She's just walked into his flat, basically. This isn't a DVD shop.
Kerry Mulligan's so wonderful.
And sort of conveniently has a very angelic face. She has a very cherubic sort of, it's like very youthful, soft-featured face, which is great for a hero in a story, because you kind of immediately assume based on appearances, she's gonna be terrible. No. Sally's a juxtaposition, which is very nice.
It's always nice as well when you get people in Doctor Who who later go on to be absolute stars. You go back and you're like, oh yeah, of course, because they always stand out in the stories that they're in.
Like, she dominates this.
She's doing so much.
You watch this episode and you go, I would watch a series of Sally Sparrow doing stuff and getting up to...
Because she's just got that charisma.
Yeah. So many in the recent years as well who just sort of pop up in this and then appear later in other stuff. Or prominent in this, but, like, go on to further prominence. I mean, Eccleston, for starters, like, he wasn't a TV guy. Like, people knew him for Cracker, but he was seen more as like a film actor. For our Friends in the North, yeah, but he was always in miniseries after that.
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of grew into... He's got an American sort of arm of work now, things like The Leftovers, and did Heroes.
The bits and pieces here and there.
Billie Piper, of course, like Doctor Who was the springboard to finally make Britain go, oh, she's an actor! And pay attention to the fact
Did she do Secret Call Girl just before Doctor Who?
Just after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that was a big thing for her as well.
Oh, that was her star vehicle. That was this is your show.
Yeah.
She was great in that. That was a really good show. Did it ever end? Or was it just they never picked it up again kind of deal?
Because it was based on someone's memoirs, so...
It's quite dark. Completely understandable that she can't quite tell him what's happened.
Yeah.
And of course to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more big ball of wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. And that is where that phrase should have stayed. Oh, that's creepy. That phrase should have stayed in this episode and never progressed beyond it.
Love it.
Oh.
I love it.
Arguing with the television. They're all fictional films, which we'll never really focus on, but you'll notice they're in nearly every shot of this. Yeah. That's a great line.
Okay.
Why does nobody ever just go to the police?
Go to the police. Why not?
Yes, you sound mad. What a great voice.
Yeah.
So we're trying from the beginning this time. Oh. What's that calling it? Wester Drumland?
Wester Drumland.
Oh.
Oy.
Oh, that's freaky.
I
I love that they found convenient perches that apparently they can fit on.
Yeah.
Do you think they shoved the statues off to get there? Like, whoa! As she looks down, there's two gargoyles smashed on the floor.
Oh, hello!
There's a lot of voyeuristic shots in this as well. Like shots that feel like someone is watching.
Yeah.
Like that one there, so it looks like someone's peering around from the other side of the desk to watch her. Oh! Oh, that's spooky.
I love it!
Here he comes.
Good old Billy Shipton. God, there's just so much good stuff in this. Like, the performances are really, really strong.
You spend time with everybody in this, in further content.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I want to spend more time with them.
It's so well constructed as well. Like, the way everything fits together in terms of the time travel bits and pieces, it's one of those Doctor Who episodes that actually really plays with the idea that it's a show about time travel.
And this is a nice setup as well. Like, oh, TARDIS back there, it's just so well done. And it's not shot with any sort of, like, glory, or it's not shot the way it normally is, it's just kind of there. It's this weird little thing.
No fanfare about it.
But the idea that over the last 2 years, at least, people have gone missing at that house, and these are just their vehicles. It's like, what a really creepy idea. Like, these weeping angels are literally just staying there and using it as a feeding ground, feeding off of curious people.
Very smart.
So bloody forward. Life is short and you are hot.
I love it.
That should not be as charming as it is. That should be super creepy, but he's just got such a nice warm feeling about him, hasn't he? The performance is so nice. And the fact she's just like, no, but I like your confidence, get in touch with me at a later date. Oh. Oh!
That's such a lovely moment. It is such a lovely moment. It's not such a sweet moment.
In other performers' that shot is terrifying.
Yeah.
In other performers' hands, that little flirty moment could have come across as really seedy, but those two just sell it so well, and it's so natural. I know Moffat sort of has a very established obsession with sex in his Doctor Who work even.
Yeah.
Like, relationships and sexual tension is a thing he likes to write about a lot. Hence coupling. But every now and again, it's like, yeah, people are kind of that way inclined sometimes. Sally and Billy in that moment were just like, I would totally do you.
They were feeling each other out, yeah.
You know, and sometimes that it isn't distracting. And like there, it's charming and really sweet. Oh, don't blink, Billy! Did you read the title? And
then immediately...
He blunked. He done blunked.
Immediately just...
The music.
A really cute moment with it, just oh no. Because you know the poor guy's doomed. But he's not, that's the thing, he's not doomed, he's just there, the potential future that they could have had is doomed.
What was it the Doctor says? Killing you kindly.
Yeah.
They kill you kindly. They let you live yourself to death. Until you get to Angels Take Manhattan, when a group of them literally, like, are harvesting people by keeping them in a house.
Yeah. It's just...
Which is freaky. The premise of that story is really creepy until you get the Statue of Liberty, and then it just takes you out of it completely.
Yeah.
You're like, that's a cool mental image, but it's just ridiculous. Like, no one's noticed that the Statue of Liberty is suddenly over there. But hey, Billy gets to give us Dr. and Martha time. We are 23 minutes in, and the Doctor and Martha have finally rocked up proper. That is brave for a show aimed at kids. Well, they'll be worried their attention spans might not follow. Like, if the characters they like aren't there. It was a bold choice. God, he's so good.
It's... Oh. It's such a Doctor Who speech.
Martha is written in this differently than she is in any of the rest of the series. I don't think Stephen has a grasp of Martha. He's just sort of written slightly annoyed companion. Do you know what I mean? But it's fine for this, because she would be frustrated. She's like, how the hell did we get in this mess?
This was one of those suggests it was possibly scripted for
Rose. Oh.
Also, oh no! It is. I love it. We did skip over the "Don't stay away from hens" line, which is wonderful. It's just a sort of the thing that Tennant was really good at. I was like just going off on a tangent in such an easy, breezy way, and then coming back to very Tom Baker-ish.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. He takes a lot of cues from. David and Peter, particularly, are the two modern Doctors that have taken most of their cues from Tom.
Yeah.
I find very much their own versions, but that he's the one who they've sort of taken their ticks from.
Yeah. This is heartbreaking.
I mean, David's straight up, just the where.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, you know.
Well, you know, it's definitely not coincidental that they're both the biggest fans who've been in the revival series.
I did like that bit in Mummy and the Orient Express where he just straight up has a conversation with himself, and it sort of subtly implies he's kind of tapping into old mentalities, because he just talks like Tom Baker to himself at one point. And you're like, that's odd. Then on reflection, I'm like, it would have been nice to have seen that more, really. It's one of the reasons why that's my only really kind of favourite episode of the 12th Doctor in, because it's just full of such unique ideas and a simple premise. And Gus, which has never been resolved and probably never will be.
Nope.
But that's fine.
Drop threads in the Moffat era.
Never. I didn't stop eating those. They're now yours. The gelatin children are yours. Oh. Oh. The use of the rain here is really nice.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a flow of time kind of thing, and the idea that this isn't stopping, like it's carrying on no matter what. It's constant flow. Sally will not be able to stop for breath.
I love it.
Have you noticed that my pullover randomly makes me look like a dinner lady?
Clockwork.
Oh. Oh. See, this is super sweet. We've gone quiet because this is just really well handled. Because of course, when she meets him at the end, it's the list of DVDs, it's the transcript, and presumably she's written up everything that happened.
Yeah.
Just so he knows.
Oh, it's so good.
His old man's hands. And I haven't clipped my fingernail. No, he has. He's got beautiful fingernails.
Remember when we got that email a couple of weeks back asking which bits of Modern Who make us closest to tearing up?
Is this getting you?
It's getting me. It's just...
Kerry turning on the works.
That's such a... Oh!
Until the rain stops. And that's when she finally actually goes into third act mode as well. Like now she has a mission, she knows what she needs to do, and she goes and does it. This is her one shot. Because if she screws this up, assuming that time, can be changed in this instance.
I'm out of that bed quick.
Yeah. Well, it could be the next day. Like, this is only have tonight. So it could be the next day by now.
She's in the same clothes, though.
She stayed overnight.
No, that's true.
She stinks. Oh, no. Love that. Love that. You've only got 17 DVDs.
It's so good! I also love how much of an emotional range this episode fits into 45 minutes. It's really, really impressive. Some of Moffat's best writing, hands down.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's tight and concise. There's no threads. It's just... That's what he does best, when he's got a time frame to work in, and he has to pack it all in that time. That's why Series 5 is near perfect.
Mm.
It only suffers because he leaves threads at the end of it. And in Series 5, his episodes are the best ones, really.
There we go.
Apart from Richard Curtis, who I think gives the best episode of that series, but
Maybe.
that's mostly down to Marriage of Everything performances, especially, and the direction.
Mm. Transcript, you see.
It's so well done.
It's very good.
And I love how he is reading an autocue as well. If you look at his eye line, like he's apart from Martha, just cutting in, but you can see his eyes just gently scanning a sort of an autocue kind of thing.
This was definitely written for Rose. Looking back on it,
Mm.
that's not a Martha sentence.
No. $38. But I love how the Doctor is essentially acting this out too.
Yeah.
Like he's having to act it out so that it lines up for them. Ooh, Sally Sparrow. Time. Just goes to effect,
Oh.
but actually from a non-linear,
Everyone's
non-subjective
favourite
viewpoint,
10
it's
quote.
more a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Yeah, it got away from me, yeah. Well, I can hear you. The way it lines up is amazing. Oh. On the forums. Shorthand as well, that's
Yeah.
really nice. The egg forums.
I love it. It's just so clever.
Timey-wimey.
I love characters like Lawrence as well, who like it's
Doesn't
they're-
really
they're
appreciate
really-
or notice the gravity of it all.
no, but they really enjoy the adventure.
Yes. Yeah. So do I, pal. Although it did take them 5 years to release this t-shirt.
Yeah, well, no one can accuse the BBC of being on the trigger for marketing, can they?
Lonely assassins. I suppose because they can never communicate, can't they?
No.
That's probably why it takes them a while to formulate plans, because they have to kind of just give each other enough visual cues every time they freeze to understand what they're doing. I quite like... This is the Alien to Flesh and Stone's Aliens.
Yeah.
And I do like that two-part, but the one bit of it I don't like is when we see them move. It's only brief, but I really don't like it.
Yeah. Because I like the idea that you as the audience count as something watching them.
But also, they're still stone. Like,
Yeah.
they turn to stone when they're observed. So when you see them in that, no one's watching them, and they're just like, crack. But
Yeah.
it's still stone. It's like, oh, that kind of takes away some of the creep factor, really.
It always does with things like that. The more you explore a concept like the Weeping Angels, the more of the mystique and the terror, if you like, that it takes away from them.
Introduce new facets, absolutely. Like the idea of whatever it holds the image of an angel itself becomes an angel thing's really creepy in that.
Does
The CCTV loop that Amy's
Yeah.
watching and then it moves because it's just a still image and then it's out of the screen. Like that works super well. And the fact that it's sort of infecting her in some way
yeah.
because she stared at it too long. And also the fact that it can kind of use the voice of someone it's killed to communicate with you. Because in that, of course, they're just snapping necks.
Mm.
And so they use Bob. They use his voice to talk to them, to the communicator. Which is really creepy.
Angel Bob.
Giles is creepy. Then he just farted.
Oh no! Oh god!
It's a defense mechanism. She wants to get rid of the angel. I remember watching this going out. This bit was terrifying because it's the first time you've seen that face as well.
Yeah.
Like this face makes its debut in this moment. Horrifying. Oh god.
It's really hard to not blink.
It's really tough.
Do you ever do that when you watch this, where you're like, "I'm going to try and not blink"? Like,
Yeah, I'm doing it now. Like unknowingly, I'm doing it now. I've only just realised as you said it, my eyes are stinking.
I do it when I'm watching films where people are underwater. I try and hold my breath for the time that they're underwater. I can never do it.
Dude, you're insane.
Especially that scene in Alien Resurrection where they're underwater for like 10 minutes.
Oh god, yeah, bloody hell. I suppose you can get away with this slightly by kind of like just having them in your peripheral. Because you can still see them.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
But that also helps you. That also helps the not blinking thing. Because if you're moving your eyes, you still kind of, you know what I mean. They're not blurring as much. I love how Colin Baker was the one around this time in a panel or something. He was the one who came up with the like how you beat them solution, which was brilliant. He said it's dead easy. Oh god! He said it's dead easy. You do this. You go like this. You go. That eye's closed now. And open that eye.
Yeah.
And you can close that eye now and start over that one. And just keep going. As long as you need. It was like, he's got a point.
Yeah.
He's got a point.
It's true. But I think they rely on you not thinking about that. By being fucking terrified. Also, they sneak up on you, don't they?
Yeah, I think because he says, the 10th Doctor says they're fast. It's only the 11th Doctor who sort of establishes that they're like lightning quick.
Yeah.
In this, they're not lightning quick, they're just quick. And I think, because like here, he's not looking anymore, but it's not going to come around the corner necessarily because he might be looking.
Yeah.
So they're still cautious. They always approach with caution, just in case. Because even though it's their defense mechanism, it means they can't be hurt. It means they're also helpless. In fact, they can't do anything when they're in stone form. They can't achieve anything. So they don't want to take the risk that they might get stuck in stone form. So they still kind of plod it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This music was used a lot in the adventure games. But, I was going with that. Oh yeah, so...
I don't know why you're going with that. I just got sucked into the episode.
How to beat them. Look at them.
Yeah.
Get it in your eyesight. Back away as far as you can, but keep it in your sight. By the time you blink, it won't have caught up to you. Like, it'll make its way to you. So you give yourself enough of a distance to... Do you know what I mean? Which... I feel like this episode does that more. This episode does the whole, like... They have these powers, but there's a limit still to what the amount they can do to you. It's about not getting scared and losing your head and losing your cool. Oh, that shot. The lent over one. Whereas later stories make them like near invincible.
Oh, it's very good.
It's a shame that they use up the idea of them in the snow in that like 2-minute section of Time of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Because that in itself could be a great story.
Yeah.
Got a figure of that. She's fired again. I got a figure of that Doctor. They released
Of course
it
you have.
as like a limited thing from the BBC store, and I got it because Lou bought it for me at the Doctor Celebration. They were selling them there in just little bags.
Oh.
So I was like, why is there a hologram 10th Doctor? When did that ever happen? I think it was Guy. I think Guy pointed out, like, in Blink, really briefly. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Because he appears as a hologram in another one, but it's like full colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
The little used raised platforms as well around the back of the TARDIS.
Love it.
Which they only ever use in Series 2 and Series 3. Because in Series 2, Jackie's just sat on one board, isn't she, in the finale? That's spooky. But it's also genius.
Very, very smart.
For those wondering why the dog's extra gassy, she ate a snail this morning. Just hoping that I keep her asleep long enough that she doesn't shart all over my cargo shards.
That would be a great way to end this commentary.
I think you need to get out of the way, Lawrence, mate. Duck down. It's got to be about peripheral vision, because he is just flat out getting in the way of their face. God, look at the tears in her eyes. She's shitting herself. Don't blame her. So, see the ones with the smaller jaws? They'll be models.
Yeah.
And the ones with the bigger heads will be the actors. Spooky.
I see. It's really hard to stay so still.
Ballerinas. Like the physical performers. First and foremost. There was a Weeping Angel prop, one of the sturdy ones, used to hang outside the toilets at Rough Lock. I don't know if it's still there. I did some behind the scenes stuff there once or twice, and it was just eerie that if you wanted to go to the toilet, you had to sort of like walk past a Weeping Angel to open the door. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's just there.
That was quite good.
Oh, Black Betty, Bamalam. Black Betty had a child, Bamalam. Something gone wild.
Bam-a-lam.
Sally, you alright? Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Dove. Wow. Bloody hell, Sally. Come on. You lived through something traumatic. Just, be a little gentle. A little bit gentle.
Where's Sally Sparrow's Big Finish spin-off?
Don't tempt them. Also, they couldn't afford
They
it.
can't afford it.
Jake Dunlin will play her. Now this is great because I never want this to be answered ever. But it's just a great visual. Like Martha's look there is amazing, and she never has that look again in the whole series. The rest of the series, she's all jean jacket, this and the other. But here it's like, holy crap, she's embraced a look. This is really cool. Wielding arrows, getting stuck into an adventure.
It almost made Martha interesting.
I like Martha. I'm not you, John Freeman's performance most of the time, but I like Martha. Look at him. That's another variation of the Doctor outfit as well. He's in like... Is that 2 t-shirts, a shirt, the jacket, and the coat?
It's a lot.
How is he not dead? Well, 4 things in a lizard. Run for your life! Do you know what's kind of upsetting here? I've just realised, because of how quaint the shops and the high streets are.
He's drinking red milk.
Well, that too. But how quaint the shops and the high streets are, and like all the settings around this and everything.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that it's set in London.
London doesn't look like this.
London does not look like this, but they make a point, and I was like, no, I was in London. Where am I? You're in Hull. So, oh, okay. Whereas, wouldn't it be cooler if the story's just randomly set in, like, bloody... just like a smaller town somewhere?
This is the only bit of the story, the only bit of the episode I'm not so keen on.
Because you've not seen any of the statues looking, like doing that.
But also, it's just a bit. It just doesn't feel of a tone with the rest of the episode.
True, but I guess they wanted to end on a spooky note because it is quite a spooky episode, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even for modern Who, like the scary stuff's quite sort of, oh, that is quite scary. That would freak a child out. So you kind of end them on a note of, oh.
I think it would have been better if you just have had the. Well, let's see what's next week. The end of the universe.
We're going to the end of the universe. Derek Jacobi, or Jacoby, or Jacobi.
Oh, piercings!
Yeah, I've got teeth, Doctor. Doctor. I love Utopia. It's great.
It's great.
Yeah, I know what you mean about the ending. But I guess it's just that whole keep an eye on the statues because you never know.
It should have just scrolled up and it should have just been an angel. On top of that church.
I mean, yeah. Well, no, because that implies that one of those ones had got away, maybe. Or just literally look at statues that are angel-shaped.
Yeah.
There's like 3 in that montage.
Yeah.
It makes more sense later, because like in the New York one, the next 2 part with them, we find out that they can look decayed, not have wings.
Yeah.
And then in the New York one, there are cherubs that operate on the same logic. So it's like, okay.
The cherubs.
A little bloody cherubs. Little weeping babies.
Cherubic weeping babbies.
We're not just talking about Julie Garner and Russell T Davies.
That's just Christopher Friday night.
I thoroughly enjoyed Blink. I
love Blink.
I have my opinions of Stephen Moffat's era, but I'll never fault his contributions to the Russell era of the show.
They let him run the show for a reason, you know what I mean?
That's probably this episode that set that in motion, really. What do you think of Blink? Did you enjoy this commentary and nonsense? Would you like us to talk about more Doctor Who stuff? Don't answer that last one. We know the answer. Let us know in the comments what you thought. I will see you around. Remember to check out, if you haven't already, patreon.com/BigDamnCast. You could be getting these commentaries months sooner than everybody else. We'll see you soon, folks. Don't look away. Don't turn your back. And don't fart like my dog did. Please get off me.